What's going on, everyone? So, Luka Doncic officially signed long-term to the Lakers. And on top of that, he is now back in Slovenia, right, gearing up and getting ready, and is expected to play Friday in their first game against Germany, I believe. And I'm really excited for that, right, for several reasons. One, I really want to kind of keep an eye on that to the best of the ability. We got to see, like, I got to look up the times and see if I'm going to even be able to watch them. If not, then I'll probably just record them and then watch them later and whatnot. And we'll break down some of the stuff. I definitely want to I want to keep an eye on the Luka games in particular, simply on the fact that, like, again, one, Luka's a Laker, but two, I want to see how is he moving? How is he operating? Right? Like, Luka, we know what he can do. We know what he's capable of. The guy's unbelievable. But I want to see, like, the difference in levels, right? Now, Eurobasket and the NBA are very different things. They have different rules. I mean, they're almost different sports in a lot of ways, right? 3-point line is closer, all of that. Goaltending rules, all of that, right? So I don't want to, like, put too much into it, right? But it'll be a great sign. I'm looking not so much about Luka and his buckets, right? We know he can go score buckets. We know he could go and put up 50, 20, and 20, right? Like, and don't get me wrong, that'd be impressive. I don't care where you're playing. You'd be at your local Y and you put up 50, 20, 20. That's ridiculous. But, like, you get the point, right? Like, I'm not so concerned about his stat line in particular as I am the way he looks and is moving and flowing. Like, he talked about his vertical might be a little better. I want to see, like, does he actually have a little more lift? Is he more agile? Is he shuffling his feet better? Is he staying in front of guys? Is he playing defense? A lot different there than it is here. And even just the role and the usage, like, Luka's essentially going to be carrying that team by himself, right? Where with the NBA, you're going to have LeBron and Reeves and all these other things, particularly over the course of an 82-game season, right? I want to just kind of keep an eye on him and, like, see, like, as the games progress, right? Does he start getting a little winded and gassed and some of the things that you saw with the Lakers last year? I wouldn't expect him to, just because, again, he's lost the weight and, worked on his body and his conditioning and all that. But still, you never know, right? Want to see, like, how is he moving and operating, especially now. Yes, he lost the weight, but also with, his injury history, he's having all those injury concerns, which a lot of that probably stems from the weight issue. Like, he has all that extra weight that he's carrying around, that he's, having to move and be all crafty and do all this other stuff. He's never been this, like, explosive guy. I'm not expecting him to look like Russell Westbrook out there and just blowing by guys and doing all this crazy stuff and just, like, yamming on everybody and just, like, right? Like, I'm not expecting anything like that. No craziness, but again, just the shiftiness, the craftiness, like the defense. I think, like, how is he moving more fluid out there? Right? Can you see the significance rather than him kind of, like, using his weight? Good thing he's always been strong. Like, even, like, as a rookie, when he was, skinny Luka and whatnot, he was always very strong. Who was it? I think it was Vince Carter recently? Somebody was talking recently, I saw, like, a little clip of, and they were talking about Luka, and he came into the league, and, and then in practice and whatnot, and they were like, oh yeah, like, please, if you know what I'm talking about, leave it in the comments, because I really don't remember off the top of my head, just kind of popped in my head, but they were talking about how, like, you went and played Luka, and they're like, oh, you're going to let him, score all the buckets or whatever, and then he was like, yeah, we are. And then he was like, and then I ended up, like, defending Luka, and I'm like, wow, this guy is strong, right? Like, he's just like moving us around and stuff. Might have been Udonis Haslem and, like, Dwayne Wade or somebody like that. But anyway, point is like, Luka's always been, strong and physical and being able to, like, kind of use his body to bump guys and whatnot. Because he's also big, right? Especially for a point guard. I mean, he's a guy, he's 6'7", 6'8", right? Like, he's just a big guard. He's the size of most forwards and some power forwards in the league today. And that's your guy that's out there as your point guard. So he's always going to have, like, a little weight on him. Even skinny Luka weighs more than, a point guard that's, 6'2", right? So he has the weight and the size and the strength and all those things to kind of match up and be able to bump guys and do all these things, right? But I also want to see, does it affect his game in any negative manner, right? Because, when you have that weight you're carrying around, you learn to kind of adapt and adjust to that weight, and you find ways to use that weight, right? Like, you're matching up against a guard that's 205, right? Big difference when you're like 280 compared to like 220. Right now you're bumping those guys, like, and they're like flying all over the place, and he's able to kind of use and shift that weight and do things to kind of get guys off the spot that he's not going to be able to do, because yes, he's strong, he's physical, he can do all this stuff, but he's not going to have the physical weight to just weigh on guys and push guys around and stuff. I'm not saying that that's going to be a negative thing. Like, it's a great thing, don't get me wrong, but I'm talking about, like, is there going to be kind of this readjustment period of like, oh, I don't have that weight. So, certain moves, certain steps, the way he leans, again, the way he positions his body in during certain plays and sequences, and when he's, creating that dribble penetration and getting into the defense and whatnot, right? Like, he's not going to have that extra weight to kind of pop in and just kind of, knock people around and then shoot over that. He's going to have to, get back to being crafty, creating that separation and all that stuff. He's not going to have that to kind of fall into. So I'm really curious. I'm excited to see it. I said it might not be it. I mean, you just go out there and just dominate, right? Like, I'm expecting him to be fantastic this year. Like, I think genuinely he's going to have an MVP level season. I don't even think that's like controversial at all. Like, I think that that's expected at this point. I just think he's hungry. He's motivated. He already every year was in the MVP conversation. I think as long as he plays 65 games, I think he wins it. Right? He's going to have the Lakers bump, and, you have like voting fatigue, which is a real thing, whether people want to admit it or not, that's a real thing. Right? Like, if they can give Luka the MVP over like Jokic again or Giannis or whatever, they'll give it to Luka. And especially him being on the Lakers and just the narrative and conversation that would create and all these, like, I expect Luka to be ridiculous this upcoming season. But it really all is just going to depend and play into, how, this is the first step for me. Right? Actually get to see him in live games operating. Like, we know he's just going to run through everybody and torch everybody. But to me, again, that's why I'm not going to be looking so much at the stat line as I will be everything else, right? How is he kind of operating throughout? But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.